Max Verstappen has never been afraid to speak his mind. But what he just said, and what he's now doing, has sent shockwaves through the entire Formula One paddock. The four-time world champion is at the center of the sport's biggest crisis of the 2026 season, and his response? Nobody saw this coming. Let's break it all down. Where Red Bull actually stands first, let's be honest about how bad the situation really is at Red Bull right now. 3 rounds into the 2026 Formula One season, Max Verstappen lies just 9th in the standings, with 12 points to his name. For context, this is the man who missed out on a 5th world title by just 2 points last year. He is not someone who finishes 9th in championships. Red Bull is producing their own power unit for the first time this season after parting ways with Honda. And it has suffered a troubled start, with engine-related reliability issues stopping Isaac Hadjar in Australia and Max Verstappen in China. The Japanese Grand Prix was supposed to be the circuit where Verstappen would bounce back. Suzuka, a track he's dominated for years. Instead, Verstappen called his Red Bull undrivable after qualifying 11th at Suzuka and said he was beyond frustrated after suffering a shock Q2 elimination. And in the race itself, Verstappen was unable to pass Alpine's Pierre Gasly, leaving the squad with plenty of improvements to find ahead of the next round. Gasly ultimately held on to take the checkered flag just 0.337 seconds ahead of Verstappen as Red Bull failed to find a solution to the balance issues that plagued both of their drivers throughout the weekend. Pierre Gasly, in an Alpine, holding off the 4-time world champion at Suzuka. Let that sink in. Verstappen's stunning response. Now here's where it gets truly remarkable, because Verstappen's response to all of this hasn't been to stay quiet, keep his head down, and let the team work through its problems. No, he's gone nuclear. After Japan, Verstappen told BBC Radio 5, live something that stopped the entire F1 world in its tracks. Verstappen claims to be contemplating his future in the sport. He is questioning whether it is worth it to race beyond this season. He does keep telling himself every day to try and enjoy it. But when he gets into the Red Bull RB22, that is very hard to do. Verstappen is 100% committed right now, but the way that I am telling myself to give it 100%, I think, is not very healthy at the moment because I am not enjoying what I'm doing. Not healthy, not enjoying it, from Max Verstappen, and then came the message that shook everyone. In a pointed message to the FIA and F1 decision-makers regarding his future, Verstappen declared, "They know what to do." 4 words. An ultimatum wrapped in a warning. Fix the rules, or he's out. Verstappen reiterated that his current dissatisfaction stems from F1's new engine rules rather than Red Bull's current lack of competitiveness. You can have a bad balance, but of course that doesn't take away from how we have to race and, in general, the whole system. I can also accept if I'm driving P7. It's just the way I'm driving to P7 with the systems and everything. It's not a lot of fun. This is a man who once described a race where he finished 2nd as a bad weekend. Now he's saying he could accept 7th. But the way these cars make you drive to 7th is what he can't accept. The technical nightmare. To understand why Verstappen is this frustrated, you need to understand what it's actually like inside the RB22 right now. In Shanghai, Verstappen dropped from 8th all the way down to 14th as cars rushed to overtake him on both sides at the start. He was later called in to retire on lap 46, continuing his disappointing 2026 run. When asked about his start, Verstappen refused to accept blame. Yeah, same problem, different procedure, same problem. I have no words for that. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just the engine not lifting. I'm not an idiot. And in Japan, when he tried to attack Gasly, the new energy management system worked directly against him. I tried one time just to have a look, so I passed him into the final chicane, but then you have no battery on the next straight, so I was like, see you later. Try again in a few laps. Verstappen described Red Bull's car as incredibly tough to drive, saying that every lap is a fight. And after Japan, he went even further, branding the balance problems not sustainable. Red Bull boss Laurent Mekies admitted the team's car showed significant shortcomings at the Chinese Grand Prix. That's the team's own principle using the words significant shortcomings. When the boss is saying that publicly, you know things are serious. The crisis deepens. Another key exit. But here's the part of this story that doesn't get enough attention. Because the problems at Red Bull go far beyond a bad car. The team itself is fracturing. The early weeks of the 2026 season have brought an unfamiliar sense of instability to Red Bull. A string of high-profile exits, including former team principal Christian Horner, legendary designer Adrian Newey, and other influential figures who shaped Red Bull's dominant era, is adding to the impression that the team is entering a period of transition, and now there's fresh news. According to F1 insider Ole Schack, the front-end mechanic working with Max Verstappen, has handed in his resignation. Schack, a stalwart of the team since the Sebastian Vettel years, has reportedly grown tired of a work environment that has changed significantly over the years. Think about what that means. Verstappen's own front-end mechanic, someone who has been in that garage for over a decade, is walking out the door. For Max Verstappen, this matters. Stability has always been a cornerstone of Red Bull's success, and the loss of experienced personnel raises questions about whether the team can continue to provide him with a championship-winning car. Red Bull CEO Oliver Mintzlaff has taken a more hands-on approach, with sources revealing that the mounting pressure for results is beginning to wear on him as he grows increasingly impatient. The pressure from the top, the exits from within, and the disasters on track. Red Bull right now is a team in crisis at every level. The contract bombshell. Now let's talk about what Verstappen could actually do, because this isn't just venting to the media. There are contractual mechanisms that make his situation genuinely explosive. Verstappen's deal with Red Bull runs until 2028 and is reportedly worth around $70 million a year. But sources have told ESPN that a performance-related exit clause exists for 2026, one that was specifically added with F1's new regulations in mind, given Verstappen's long-standing apprehension about them. That clause. Right there. That's why this story is different from any Verstappen complaint we've seen before. This was planned for. The possibility of escape was baked into his contract before the season even started. There should be no sugarcoating the wider implications. The four-time world champion's threat to leave seems like an existential crisis for F1's new era. Yet the sport faces a new reality, unless something remarkable changes, that these rules might be remembered as so bad that they made one of the sport's greatest ever drivers walk away before his 30th birthday. Red Bull's response to all this? Boss Laurent Mekies said, "We are having zero discussions about those aspects. We have a lot of work to do, but I'm sure by the time we give him a fast car, he will be a much happier Max. So, honestly, that's 100% of our discussions right now. Build a faster car, and everything will be fine. That's Red Bull's plan. But given everything that's been said and done this season, is that enough for Verstappen? What happens next? Here's where things stand heading into Miami. Red Bull boss Mekies confirmed the 5-week gap following the cancellation of the Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grands Prix will give the team crucial extra time to work through their issues back at base, saying, "The unfortunate but inevitable cancellation of the races in April will give all of us a chance to catch our breath and work as hard as always in Milton Keynes." Verstappen himself says step one is to understand what happened in Japan, get a bit more of a stable balance, and understand the engine deployment a little bit better. He's not giving up yet, but the window is closing. Formula One and its governing body are set to meet in April for a series of meetings to analyze the new regulations and discuss potential alterations, and the F1 2026 campaign will resume after those meetings in Miami. The FIA knows what's at stake, and Verstappen knows what he needs, and the whole world is watching. What we know for sure is this. The man who has won 4 consecutive world championships, who dragged himself back from the brink last year to nearly claim a 5th, is now questioning whether he even wants to be in Formula One. His response to Red Bull's crisis has been nothing short of stunning, raw, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. Miami cannot come soon enough, so there you have it. Max Verstappen is at war with the rules, at war with an unreliable car, losing his key people, and now rattling his contract. This is the biggest story in Formula One right now, and it's only just getting started. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think Verstappen stays in F1 beyond 2026? Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next race.